Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to cross the water once again and go to Denmark, and this is a brewery who I have been hugely impressed with. I only did my first review from these guys a few videos ago, but I've actually tried quite a few of their beers, and these guys don't do anything wrong. They are such a good brewery. So we're going to go to Amager Bryghus once again, who are from Kastup, right next to the airport in Copenhagen actually, and we're going to have a taste of their winter in Bangalore. And this one is an IPA and it's rated at 94 on ratebeer.com, and as I always say, that website very rarely leads you wrong when it comes to beer, so really worth checking out, and I'm very excited to try this one. Amager, as I say, are they're probably one of the best breweries in Denmark right now, and yeah, really excellent stuff, world class beers in my opinion. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the company. If you do want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual website links are in the video description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other Amager reviews that I'll do for you soon. This is my second one actually. There's also the Facebook page for the channel, please like it, and my Untappd profile too, so feel free to add me as a friend on there. And to my Danish viewers, I do apologise if any of my pronunciations aren't quite right. Danish is quite a difficult one for me to pronounce, especially since I'm Scottish and we're not quite used to it. But please do let me know some other Danish beers you'd like me to have a look at. But Amager are one of my favourite breweries that I've encountered from you guys so far. But anyway, as I told you, Amager Bryghus are based in Kastup in Copenhagen, and they're probably one of the best known Danish craft breweries outside of the likes of Toil and Mikkeller, of course. But the brewery was established in 2007 by two young friends, Morten Valentin Lundsbach and also Jakob Storm, and both of these guys were previously quite avid home brewers. And apparently at school the pair were forced to do a chemistry and physics project together, and so they wrote about the fermentation process that went on in beers. So you could say that they were kind of hooked at an early age on the idea of brewing. But after opening in April 2007, their beers really quickly established themselves in Copenhagen, and their first brewery soon became far too small to meet demand. So in 2011 they upgraded to their current facility in Tårnby, and apparently they have quite a humorous approach to brewing beer, and they always like to put crazy stories on their labels as well, and I will read this one out to you. But this approach apparently has caused them quite a few problems when it comes to dealing with the nationalised beer stores like you have in Sweden. You've got System Bolaget here in Sweden, you've also got Vino Monopolet up in Norway as well, and in Norway you're not actually allowed to advertise for beers. But despite the problems they've had with these nationalised beer shops, there's also Vinbuden in Iceland incidentally, but despite all these problems, they are still, their beers are exported all across the world. I think you can get these as far as Australia and New Zealand, down in the sort of in the Pacific, and I think probably in America you can get these, and maybe even in South America. Do tell me if you try one of these beers in South America, and of course all throughout Europe it's fairly easy to get a hold of some of the Amager beers. If you have to go to a good beer shop of course, but you don't really want to buy beer from anywhere else than that in my opinion. But anyway, that's your kind of brief little bit about Amager. Just to list the other beers you can get from these guys, in their regular range they've got the Amager Feld, they've got the Bryggens Blonde, the Christianshavn Pale Ale, Dragar Brown, Herr Fredriksson, the IPA, Rugs Porter, Sundsby Stout, and also the Wookie IPA. They've also got their Sinner series, which is 7 beers named after the 7 deadly sins. Supposed to be really nice. I would love to review those, but I've never seen them yet. You can't get them through System Bolaget, unfortunately. But they've also got various specials and collaboration beers as well. So definitely a brewery that you want to check out if you get the chance. And as I say, these beers are quite widely exported throughout the world now. So as you can see on the back of this one, they do have a little bit of a blurb. So I'll just read this out to you. I've translated it into English. It says, "When winter darkness inexorably descends over the country and the Danes hiding in thick clothes and pullovers, mental blinds down, then it's perfectly legitimate to escape a little into the dream of better, warmer and sunnier times and places. Our winter IPA is a tribute to such a place in the year. Cheerfully enjoy themselves with its comfortable 25 degrees, interrupted only by a few terrific snow showers. Do we believe enough? Taste the name Bangalore, India's colourful and spicy mystery, almost flowing up to the nostrils, just as the best Indian aroma hops we have used in this beer, grown in the beautiful Bangalore hinterland." Oh, so all the hops you're getting in this beer are actually from India, which is interesting. "We have specially designed this intensely delicate winter IPA to fit all the winters. Winter food, from donuts and fried herring of yellow peas to the fattest goose or roasted with gravy, even vegans and paleo. all the people we have tasted it in, and each testing, everyone broke out into praise. So do you, we guarantee you will. So that's a little bit of a bad translation actually. I just fired it into Google Translate for sake of ease. I don't speak Swedish well enough to translate the Danish really yet, but some people have told me I never will, but hopefully I will fairly soon. But I'll just let you have a look at the artwork on this one. I'll just dry it off because it is quite wet since it's come out of the fridge there. It's a 6% IPA, it's hopped with Hercules, Amarillo, Cascade and Chinook, and it's got a malt base of Pilsner, Munich and Carapils malts as well. I'll just check that you're seeing this before we open up. Probably, I think it's focusing about here. You can see the really nice dragon just going around that kind of Asian looking castle. I always love these Asian castles. If you've watched my channel before, you'll maybe know that my fiance is Japanese, and it reminds me a lot of these Japanese castles. Asia is just really fascinating place. But winter in Bangalore, there's the thing that I just read to you about. It's in Danish, so I can't really read that for you at the moment, but as you can see, this is the standard Amager bottle cap. But Amager Bryghus, like I say, one of the best breweries in Denmark, maybe even the best at the moment actually. So without further ado, let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting. As you can see, nice smoky opening from this guy, so we'll get him out and into the glass. You can smell the nice fruity and hoppy characters from this beer right away. Quite a kind of straw coloured yellow actually. We'll leave it at that for the moment so we can have a look at the aroma. But yeah, really attractive looking beer this. You can really smell the fruity characters off, and as I said, it does have all Indian hops in it, so you can see it's poured a really kind of bright straw yellow colour. Just put the light over, you can see just how kind of bright that is. Very bright straw yellow colour. I've not seen an IPA like that in a wee while actually. Most of the ones I've tried recently have been a sort of reddy, orangey colour. There was a solid kind of 3/4 finger of a frothy white head. It's gone down just a little bit. It is hazy. If I put my fingers behind it, you can see that this beer isn't transparent, but you can just smell, without even paying too much attention to the aroma, it does smell pretty damn awesome. A lot of little bubbles just going up towards the bottom of the head of the beer. Looks really good. A few bigger ones sticking towards the side of the glass. No visible sedimentation. This beer was bought maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that, so it is pretty fresh, and I think it says it goes out of date in 2016. So usually these beers are recommended for about a year, so it looks very nice, and I'm sure it's really quite fresh. The head is just fading away to be a very thin foamy layer. So let's have a proper look at the aroma now. That's really nice actually. Smells quite different from some of the IPAs I've come across before. It is quite hop forward, but since the hops are from India, they will smell a bit different. You know, all the stuff about different soil compositions and things. But there's an orangey citrus character coming out of this one. A little bit like Amarillo. I think this beer has just a little bit of an earthy character underlying it. You might notice that when you smell it for yourself. But there's an orangey citrus from this one coming from the Amarillo hop. A bit of tropical fruit in there as well, probably a kind of grapefruit, and you'll get that from the Cascade and the Chinook. Maybe a sort of peachy or passion fruit, almost, it could even be a little bit of pineapple. You'll notice the fruity characters in this one, they are quite citrusy and quite tropical, but I want to say there is a little bit of there is a little bit of a sort of pineapple-y note in this one as well, I want to say. And that again, that will just be down to the fact that the hops are grown in different places. A little bit of a pine resin as well, that's another characteristic of the Chinook. And there is a good bit of a slightly spicy floral aromatic character, and you'll get that of course from the Amarillo, the Cascade and the Hercules. I think when I did the batch 1000 from Amager, the Hercules hop was in that, and I found in that the Hercules, it's a German hop, it was given the beer a kind of nice spicy floral aromatic character. It had this sort of peppery flavour to it actually that was quite nice. But underneath that you can definitely pick up a nice big bready malt base, some biscuity character, and also just a little bit of caramel sweetness in it. So as is typical with the Amager beers, you're definitely getting a lot of things going on in the aroma, so I would recommend that you give this beer a good smell before you actually get on to taste it. It's quite different from the other IPAs I've had from these guys, but it smells really nice. And as I say, you get all the typical characteristics of these hops that are in it, but I think there's a little earthy underlining to this beer. And that's maybe it's down to the hops, but maybe it's just a slightly different malt base. But without further ado then, let's get stuck into this beer. This is the Winter in Bangalore, the Winter IPA from Amager Bryghus in Kastup in Denmark. Skål! And as is typical with Amager, brilliant beer. I've only taken one sip of it, but already you can just taste the quality in this beer. It actually comes in, the first taste you'll get of this beer is a sort of hoppy and slightly spicy aromatic character. There's a good peppery spice to this one. It's quite, once you have your first taste of the aftertaste, there's a good kind of slightly dark, slightly damp floral aromatic character to this one. It's really nice, and you can taste the slightly peppery flavours from that Hercules hop in this one. As I always say, if you're tasting the beer, sugar it around your mouth and let your whole palate adjust to this one. Yeah, top quality beer this. Definitely, you need to give this one a go. So, the middle of your palate gets a blanketing of this light bready malt base there. It just goes right across the middle of your palate. The floral aromatic character in this one, actually, I'm getting a little bit of a kind of floral aromatic spicy character right at the back of the tongue, right in the middle, and that's quite interesting. That's quite an unusual aspect to the mouthfeel. But yeah, just behind the very front of the tongue you'll get a nice slightly oily bubble from this beer. It's quite nice, and that's where a lot of the fruity character's coming out. There's a good tropical and citrusy mix in there. Kind of orangey character, I would say, coming out of this. Of course, that was the Amarillo hop that will give you that. But there is a good bit more of the grapefruity flavours coming out as well, and that's the Cascade and the Chinook that will give you that. There's a bit more complexity, I think, to the tropical fruit flavours as well. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a, not quite peaches, maybe like a kind of mango-y, or I don't know if it's slightly pineapple-y note from this one that's coming out actually. But yeah, really nice beer. Incidentally, the tropical fruit flavour is really different in comparison to what I was expecting from the aroma. The aroma gives you this really quite prominent pineapple flavour, but it's really more of a big orangey citrus and grapefruit tropical flavour mix in this one. Yeah, nice orangey character in this one, I would say. A really quite enjoyable beer this, but all the hoppy characters are coming out around the edge of the tongue, except the fruits, of course, which are just that little oily bubble behind the very front. But in the back corners of the palate, I think it comes across as a little bit earthy, but there's a lot of a floral aromatic dry character, and it's got that kind of slightly dark peppery spice in there. It almost comes across as being quite an earthy character actually. There's a lot of that, and that's the Hercules hop coming out in this beer. It's really nice. There is a bit of pine resin underpinning it as well. It's quite subtle. I think the Hercules hop is dominating the kind of drier aspects of the beer as well. As I say, that sort of peppery, spicy floral aromatic characters, that's the thing that really sticks out for me in this beer. It's quite an interesting hop, and I think Amager are the first ones I've come across who use it quite so widely. But yeah, as you progress through the beer as well, those fruity characters become just ever more juicy as you drink this. It's really, really nice. Around the front of the tongue, the hoppy characters are a bit more light and a bit more kind of smooth and grassy. There is a bit of floral aromatic character there, but as you move round to the sides of the tongue, that's where the peppery, spicy, floral aromatic character comes out, and then right at the back corners of the palate, it is just a little bit more earthy. Really nice beer, this. But yeah, you get just a little bit of a caramelly or slightly biscuity feel going right down the middle of the tongue in this, but that's more once your palate adjusts. I didn't notice that incidentally at the start. It's more of a kind of bready character that blankets the middle of the tongue, and then later on, once your palate adjusts, the fruit becomes a bit more juicy, and then you get some of the nice caramelly flavours as well. But overall, this beer is really, really good once again. I do like that floral aromatic character and the slightly spiciness of it. I can't speak, sorry. the slight spicy character from the Hercules hop works really well, and it's a very good name. Of course, everyone expects sort of Indian food to be quite spicy, and I do love it. I have to admit, I do love a good curry, as most Scottish people do. But this is a really beautiful beer, and once again, Amager living up to their reputation. But in terms of the mouthfeel, this one, definitely mid-bodied. And the sort of spicy aromatic character that I keep mentioning, that gives it a bit more body. So it could be kind of, it is a slightly heavier IPA than you might perhaps be used to, and that's just because of how big the kind of bitter and dry and spicy character is in this one. But it's got a nice smooth carbonation. It is slightly oily, as you would expect. That helps promote the kind of juicy fruity flavours and a bit of the caramel flavours as well that are a wee bit more subtle. But it's got a nice mouthfeel, this, some fruity juicy character like I was saying, but the main characteristic of this beer that stays into the aftertaste is that big floral, aromatic-y, peppery spice actually that comes out of it. A really, really beautiful beer, and another kind of top class serving from Amager in Denmark. So if you do come across this beer, I'd highly recommend it. If you like a big floral, aromatic-y spice of the beer, then this is another really good one for you to try. Amager, of course, one of the best breweries, if not the best brewery in Denmark right now. They're doing some really, really good stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. I've got another 2 beers from Amager that will come up in the next month. That's the Building Bridges with Oppigårds and also the amazing Gotlander Campfire beer. So very much looking forward to reviewing those for you. My next videos are actually going to be a sort of Swedish month that I'm going to do up until Christmas, because I've not done so many different Swedish breweries for you, so that will be next month. But I thought this was a good way to sign off from November. But this has been another really, really good beer. I'd recommend this one to people who like perhaps the likes of the Silures from Celt Experience, or the Jackhammer from Brewdog, the sort of really, really quite bitter and quite spicy floral aromatic IPAs. This is another beer that you would like, but definitely give it a go, even if you're not so used to the floral aromatic spice characters. And if you've never tried Amager before, I really would recommend this brewery. As I say, probably the best craft brewery in Denmark right now. They're doing so many things right. But as I say, I hope you enjoyed this beer review. As always, if you have tried this beer before, please let me know your own thoughts on it. Comment in the section below and let me know. Let me know where you're drinking the Amager beers as well. It would be cool to know that. But I thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next one, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff, and please like the Facebook page and add me as a friend on Untappd too. But until my next beer review, Slange just now, and after December I will be back with more Danish reviews. Skål!